Hello, Self, Ohana, Cosmo, Soul Dr. Nick here, and this is Magic Mirror Work. I believe it's part 3 for today, March 5th, 2025, and wanted to dive in a little bit deeper because it's a beautiful sunshine. I am noticing noise in my brain. Again, this is not for public consumption. This is for me, to me, and if you decide to watch, that's your choice. That's your choice. Just know that it can jump all over the place, that there can be pauses, weird noises, and everything else in between. And I'm up here on my rooftop patio in the sun, enjoying all of this splendor of this earth and enjoying life. Life, that's that idea. Life is perfect, just as it is, right here, right now. It's perfect. I can't even have fathomed this level of perfection a decade ago, for sure. 2 decades ago, 100%, when I was in the midst of my stress, my ADD, my asthma, my unwellness, my loneliness, my sadness, my what are we even here for-ness. And every now and then having little pockets of fun. And now in the fun and connection and love and family and relationships and growth and drive and purpose, I have pockets of sadness, pockets of anxiety, pockets of anger. And your voids become your values is what Dr. T. Martini has been teaching, and I can see that now. I had such a void in my life, and I'm grateful for that void. Without having felt that void, I don't know if I would appreciate this as much. And that's sometimes people say you can't get to where you are without some tragedy. Tragedy births comedy, right? And there's a part of me that believes it, and there's a part of me that says, wait a second. We don't need to purposely create more hells, and hells can be relative, and hells can be in the mind, and hells can be in the imagination, and that's part of it. How do we do the work that really serves? And the work can be more virtual than real. All of this, what is this reality anyway, right? And that's part of the lie, is that there's an objective reality. Like, you have to go through this objective truth. Like, there's big T trauma or little t trauma. Subjective versus objective, right? And then judging, especially kids, whenever they're like, oh, they're really upset by something. I still do that too. I'm like, that wasn't that bad. And it's like, who am I to say that? And then who am I to make something worse or try to show more compassion when it feels like it's worse? Because then I'm reinforcing it as well. So there's all these games upon games upon games, and I'm not going to get it right every time. What can I notice about me, though? Because the more I'm learning about kids and telepathy, like, they're actually tuning into your channel, your eyesight, your view, your vision, your feelings, that I have to be so responsible for me. Otherwise, I'm imparting me onto them. And how do I be responsible for the me that I actually want to be, and have that be a guiding force, a guiding light? And then even with the best guiding light, such a guiding light, what may happen is they may stray so far because they already know the guiding light's there. That's the whole story of the prodigal son, right? That son felt so safe and knew they can come back at any time that they felt like they could actually have a really long leash. And that's part of my life, especially with my son, is I give him a much longer leash in certain areas. My beloved gives him a longer leash in other areas. And so you can actually feel the length of his leash. And I still say leash because in my mind, it's still a leash. So it's interesting that I'm noticing that. And I'm not trying to modulate it, because it'll be great someday if I see, oh, it's just freedom. I'm actually holding onto a connection that I want to have with him. Because at some point that will be it. That's what it is right now with my own parents, I feel. They want to hold onto a connection with me. And as they're holding on so tightly, it's actually getting harder and harder sometimes. I'm grateful in doing this work that I can notice it and then love with it. Not in spite of it, love with it. Love with it. So, what else is there to say here? I might actually give my folks a call here out in the sunshine, and we'll see how that goes. We're going to look at booking tickets to PEI soon. We'll see how that goes. What else is there? There's just the breath, too. Every now and then coming back to the breath. And I'm noticing my eyelids. Just stretching out and working out the tongue. It's one of the greatest things that Brent taught me, my dear friend Brent. He's like, all these different little exercises, taps, stretches, and having the body feel better and better. Like, he's what, like in his late 50s, and he's acting like life is good, and he goes through some tough shit. I'm like, all right, I want that. And if I really want that, I'm willing to put in some of the work, which includes some of the exercising, jumping, everything else, even now, right? And then noticing the stories, because I remember hearing the stories. Someone was telling me recently, it's like, oh, I destroyed my body so much by the age of like 28 or something. There's no way that I'm going to come back. And I'm like, I don't need to try to correct that story for someone else. I can smile, I can listen, I can nod, but I don't also have to say, yes, I agree. I had destroyed my body as well, if I want to look at it that way, at the age of 28, 29, 30. Weighing so little, high blood pressure, insomnia, periods of anxiety, disease, suicidality, post-traumatic stress, all that stuff. And I realized how strong I was the decade before when I was at summer camp 2020, 135 pounds, strongest I've ever been, clearest I've ever been, just having fun. If I'd maintained that, that would have been amazing. Had to go to my low. And then at 40, feeling the best I'd ever felt again as well. Just having a kid, practicing the fasting then, practicing the breath then. That was before the enemas. That was before too many saunas, although we did get the sauna while we were there. So saunas and heat therapy, such a good modality for me. Right now I'm doing a lot more hot baths because I don't have access to a sauna as readily. But noticing all these different modalities, so good, so good. So grateful, so grateful. And just every now and then taking that breath again. And loving that breath, loving the breath, loving what is. Most likely I'll be going to a sauna from here because I don't want to do it specifically here right now. I don't need to. Whether I do it at the community center, whether I find the Aria Club, something else, but reminding myself of heat therapy. Wow. 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 Just wow. Just wow. All right. What else is there? What else is there? What else is there to explore, to love, to teach, to learn? We had some water damage. All right. There's a story. There's a story. There's water damage. We got to be a little further away. Won't see me as often. Might come more frequently now. Just noticing the shoulders, noticing the arms. Proprioception. And then remembering there's such telepathy now in children, and how do I practice my own telepathy? And I have practiced it. There have been moments where I remind people in the midst of a breath or a ceremony, notice when your thoughts are coming out through my words and you're hearing yourself through me. And it's so much fun when that happens. And so how would I not imagine this is already happening with the kids younger than us? They're so much more tapped in and tuned in. And if we don't get in the way, and that's part of it when we find out that the kid is neurodivergent and we treat them differently, but instead of just looking at what they can't do, and I love that from my friend Nick today, help support them. Who are you? What can you do? What's your magic? What's your gift? Because there's so many gifts. And part of it for him is seeing the gifts of life, the gifts of fun, the gifts of play again. Like looking at that, I'm like, oh my God, man, have some fun, let go of this disease, jump around, jump around, jump around. And just let it go. For everyone, for everything, for every dream, for every life, for every lifetime. Let it go. And I've got a call booked with Aishin soon. So excited. So excited for these calls that are booking in. So excited. So excited and smiling through it. Smiling through it. And then now guiding others to come through the calls. Guiding others to come through the calls. Whether it's Leon and Arlo, let's guide them through the calls at least. Let's guide them through the calls at least. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So much fun. I've been having these dreams of Elon Musk and being in his presence and just letting that happen. I'm playing with these dreams now, these dreams and these manifestation projects, letting the alchemy work without trying to control it. Listening to all the different ways of shifting up what's normal, noticing some things may break, and then just trusting it. It's okay. And I'm really, part of me wants to say feeling sorry or sad or bad, and I'm just gonna let that be there for all the people that in this transition will be losing their jobs, losing that feeling of security, losing that feeling of safety, losing that confidence in the system, the trust in the system, that are going through so much anger, so much upheaval, so much resentment, so much pushback, that feel the separation, that feel the hate, that feel the wrongness, that feel being wronged, that feel like everything is turning topsy-turvy. And I know that some of it will affect me as well. And I'm so friggin' grateful for the changes, because what is happening right now, that's the first thing. Is what's happening right now working? Like really working? Or are we seeing a slow decline? And when you're seeing a slow decline, what do you want to do? And part of it is like my dear friend Brent said, it's like having the certainty to say, I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to fucking turn this around. And who's on board and who's not on board. We really need to clear out who's not on board. That's a first purge to make. And how do we actually have those purges? Right? Like that was the problem almost in creating the unspoken rules of society. When you join this kind of job, you will never get kicked out. And I can see the benefit of that when there had been such job insecurity, when people are kicking each other out. And I can see how those rules had unintended consequences. It's the same thing as the DeMartini method. Nothing's ever great, 100% positive, 100% negative. Like union, great, let's work together, let's work as a team. Bad, oh my God, if you're not part of the team and thinking exactly the way everyone else is thinking, then you're out. And you're gonna be feel bad. And you may still have a job, but we're not gonna give you purpose or meaning, and we're gonna make you feel so bad. And you have to deal with us, otherwise you can't. Like if you wanna be nimble, if you wanna have new ideas, all that stuff. And then, yeah, like how do we get to this point of giant monopolies, right? Well, you can't get there unless we actually create a culture where it's okay to keep lobbying, pushing out all the other people, favoring the incumbents. Like part of it I didn't realize for Vancouver, for example, housing prices, so much is tied up in the permits. Everyone's winning when they're winning. And no, not everyone's winning. The people who are winning, and everyone else is losing. But no one wants to rock the system because no one wants to be the one that gets all the pushback from all the different people. And then you've got a city that's stagnating. Like this city is stagnating. Whether it's the crummy building, whether it's the infrastructure, whether it's the energy and just the vibe of the city. And I have only myself to blame as well if I want to blame, because how am I contributing or not contributing? How am I playing or not playing? And part of it is just thank you, Cosmos, because otherwise, if this is the most vibrant, alive city, what's the point of going anywhere else, right? So there's always costs and benefits. Positives and negatives. And how do I step into inspiration, enthusiasm, presence, loving, gratitude, certainty, transcendence? I got them, the 7 transcendentals. I love playing with this. And oh, that's remind me, how do I read? And remember to read the stuff that's important to read. I tried the heart breathing earlier. Thankful for what you love. Yeah, gratitude. Grateful prayer is non-locally talking to the universe. So tell the universe, thank you. Grateful meditation is non-locally listening to the universe. So listen to the universe and be thankful. I love that. Love that. All right, passing the torch. So the 10 daily pillars of wisdom are the words of wisdom power to be stated inwardly or chanted outwardly 9 times daily, 3 times at sunrise, 3 times at noon, and 3 times at sunset. So I already missed the noon technically, but this is the middle one. Inspired action, loving service, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance, sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. Inspired action, loving service, silent prayer, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance, sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. Inspired action, loving service, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance, sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Taking out all the purpose statements, taking a look at the words. All right, so I'm just going to give a few more minutes of this because I don't need this one to be that long. This is already the third one for today. Being with the sunshine, being with the gratitude, being with the rain, being with the play, being with love, being with life. I am putting a lot more out there right now. I am noticing the people I'm looking up to. I'm going to really close the chapter and get things clear for this collaboration with XX Camp. And then let's fucking go. All right. Ciao for now.